Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, of course, we are going to be reacting to all of the NFL games that were played this weekend. We'll talk about the Panthers and the Eagles, the Cowboys and the Bengals. We'll talk about the Chiefs and how lucky they are again. We'll talk Lions and Packers, a thriller on Thursday Night Football. There were a lot of very good games this weekend that we got to go over. So, with that being said, we're going to react to these NFL games. If you haven't already, be sure to drop a like, subscribe, turn that bell on as we do our best to post on this channel every single day. The next video, we will predict bowl season. Tomorrow, we'll talk NFL predictions, and we'll also predict the college football playoff. And then Thursday, of course, might be EA Sports College Football 25. And Friday, we'll talk about the NCAA transfer portal and maybe play our Baylor Dynasty if we got enough time for that as well. That is pretty much the outlook for the week. Obviously, there's a lot of NFL games, so I'm going to keep this intro short and sweet. And let's go ahead and react to the NFL games that were played this weekend. Alright, so kicking us off on Thursday Night Football, we had the Packers going into the Lions. This game was fun. Obviously, the Lions did, in fact, hold off the Packers on that fourth down stop, and they got the job done. Great effort by, of course, Josh Jacobs, Jordan Love of the Green Bay Packers, but ultimately, it did end up winding short. Jared Goff played a really well-rounded game, 3 touchdown passes on the day. Josh Jacobs had 3 rushing touchdowns on the day. Jordan Love balled out as per usual, and that was pretty much it for the Packers and the Lions. Did not need to go to overtime, as of course the Lions did in fact kick the game-winning field goal and got the job done against the Packers and have clinched the NFC North and have clinched probably the first round or the first number 1 overall seed in the NFL playoffs, which we are coming down the stretch, so we will talk about the playoffs as well here in this video. Now, moving on to Sunday, of course, the first game of the day, we had the boring game. The Jags going into the Titans. This game, Tank Bigsby with the game-winning rushing touchdown. Obviously, love to see that for my Auburn fam out there. But it was a very boring game. It was pretty much a 3-0 game, 0-0 game the entire way through. The Jags do improve to 3-10. Titans dropped to 3-10. Mac Jones did throw 2 interceptions, but he had 220 yards. Not a bad overall day. And it was Tank Bigsby who, in fact, got the job done with the game-winning rushing touchdown. So congratulations to him, War Damn Eagle. And the Jags get the job done on the road in Tennessee in that matchup there. Now, let's talk about the overtime matchup. That was the Jets going into the Dolphins. This game did, in fact, need overtime. However, it was I believe, Reed, who got the job done. And, yeah, the Dolphins improved to 6-7, still in the playoff hunt for the AFC, if you are asking me. They're not out of it yet. However, they still got work to do. Obviously, Tyreek Hill had 1 touchdown on the day. Aaron Rodgers was the better quarterback at 329 yards. But ultimately, they fall short. And, of course, the Jets have been officially eliminated from the playoffs for the 14th straight year in a row. Dolphins still in the hunt there. Just need a few things to bounce their way and win some more games. And they are in the playoffs as well for that matchup. Falcons going into the Vikings. Kirk Cousins' return game to Minnesota started off with booing. They ended up with cheering. Obviously, that's kind of what happens when the Vikings win and your team is locked in. Sam Darnold, 5 touchdown passes on the day. A hell of a day for the quarterback as well. 350 yards, 22 of 28 as well. Bijan had a touchdown on the day rushing-wise. And then, of course, Darnell Mooney had 142 yards as well. Justin Jefferson did catch a touchdown. Jordan Addison got a little bit in there as well. Sam Darnold was distributing the ball really well, showing why the Vikings are, of course, 11-2 on the season. Falcons dropped to 6-7, probably not winning the NFC South now that the Bucs are, of course, winning the division, or at least leading in the division. And yeah, the Vikings move on to 11-2 and could be in contention for the NFC North as well. I'm not sure on that one, and you guys are going to have to quote me on that one. But the next game was a very, very boring game, if you're asking me. The Saints going into the Giants. I will actually be at the Saints game this weekend, going to see Jaden Daniels and the Commanders taking on the New Orleans Saints, and probably Spencer Rattler at quarterback as well. The Saints team, not a great team. However, they do get the job done here. Derek Carr goes down with an injury. Drew Lock obviously was the better quarterback, 227 yards. Derek Carr, again, going down with an injury in this game as well. Malik Neighbors had 80 yards or so on the day as well. but the Saints did ultimately get the job done thanks to the special teams who blocked the game-tying field goal to go into overtime for the New York Giants. And of course, the Saints get the job done on the road against a Giants team who's not very good and is probably maybe going to have the number 1 overall pick. Saints, they're also fighting for draft position, so yeah, we will see how that one turns out there, but the Saints ultimately get the job done. Now you have the Carolina Panthers. Man, oh man, oh man, have I got some thoughts on this matchup. First of all, Saquon Barkley, a really, really good running back. Obviously, that has been proven time and time again, but he is one of the best running backs in the league, no doubt about that. Jalen Hurts, thoughts on him? One of the most fraudulent runners in the league. Obviously, half of his rushing touchdowns from last year were literally from guys pushing him into the end zone. So, yeah, there's that in and of itself. However, when it comes to this game, Bryce Young played amazing. 191 yards, 1 touchdown pass, 19 of 34. A really good game for him. And we would have had the chance to win this game if it was not for Xavier Legette. I still cannot forgive him for that. And it's Monday, Tuesday, 2 days after we have played. Obviously, this year we probably weren't making the playoffs, but it did feel nice to be in a game and see Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers. Obviously, the momentum swift changing. Obviously, Bryce Young's becoming a really, really good football player right now, a good quarterback in the NFL. Dave Canales isn't going away anywhere anytime soon, focusing on that fundamentals for the quarterback position. And, yeah, the Panthers do fall to the Eagles, and if not for Xavier Legette, probably would have won that game. Now, moving on, we got the Browns going into the Steelers, and my thoughts on this game are very simple. Jerry Jeudy is a very underrated receiver. 1 touchdown, 65 yards on the day for him. Najee Harris had 1 rushing touchdown on the day as well. James Winston, 2 passing touchdowns, led the quarterbacks in this matchup. Obviously, the Steelers do, in fact, get the job done, move on to 10-3 on the year. But Jerry Jeudy, a really solid receiver, a really underrated receiver, can run routes, can catch. We saw all of that on display in this matchup. David Njoku obviously caught a touchdown as well, and the Browns fall to the Steelers on the road, 14-27 in that matchup there. Buccaneers absolutely destroying the Raiders, 28-13. Wouldn't really call it a destroying, but Baker Mayfield did throw for 3 touchdowns on the day. Obviously, White had 1 touchdown. Cade Otton led the team in receiving with 70 yards on the day as well. Well-rounded game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Again, they're probably going to win the NFC South, and as they move on to 7-6 on the year. Baker Mayfield looks to be playing his best ball recently as of late, and the kid can ball out as well. Again, they will win the NFC South. Mark my words there. Seahawks blowing out the Cardinals in this one. Whatever hope the Cardinals fans had of making the playoffs is all but gone for this one. Kyler Murray, now it's all about development for the quarterback and Marvin Harrison Jr. going into next season. However, Kyler Murray did have 259 yards, almost 260 yards, 2 touchdowns in the day as well. Jackson Smith and Nick Jigba, for Seattle caught 1 touchdown on the day as well. Obviously, Charbonnet had 2 touchdowns running the ball for Seattle as well. And they get the job done on the road in Arizona and are still in contention for the NFC West crown there. Next, we got the Bills and the Rams. This game was an ultimate thriller of a game. Obviously, Josh Allen's comeback stopped a little bit short due to time management, but he was the better quarterback. 3 touchdown passes on the day, 342 yards on the day. Not a terrible day for him. Kyron Williams had 2 touchdowns on the day. About 20 or so fantasy points for you fantasy owners out there. Did give me a lot of those as well. And then Puka Nacua had a couple amazing catches as well. What do we know from this Rams team? They're cooking right now, and they could definitely win the NFC West as well. Bears getting blown out by the 49ers. All I got was one thing to say. Brock Purdy, a bounce-back game for the 49ers, a much-needed bounce-back game, and they do get the job done against a terrible, terrible Bears team. Now, the Chargers going into the Chiefs. Man, the Chiefs are the luckiest team in the goddamn league, I swear. Every time someone seems to, they're beating the Chiefs. Well, that's probably not going to happen. They do not. And they are now 12-1 on the year and undefeated at home, kind of saying something with the whole Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce thing. I think that's honestly pushed under the water for Chiefs fans. I think now they're just winning. They're just getting lucky. They're getting luck. There's no way around it right there. Obviously, the NFL is probably going to protect their golden boy, Patrick Mahomes, but the Travis Kelce Taylor Swift thing has been under the rug for the last few months or so since the football season started. Obviously, they just find ways to win games, and they had to have a lucky bounce, but they ultimately got the job done, and a win is a win, especially in this league. There's no rankings to worry about, like the college football playoff. There's nothing that they got to worry about. A win is a win, and the Chiefs did get the job done against the Chargers in that one. Now, to end us off on Monday Night Football, last night we had the Bengals going into Dallas. I thought for certain Dallas was going to absolutely blow them out of the water just because the Bengals defense has been so bad. But Joe Burrow threw for 3 touchdown passes, 363 yards as well. Rico Dowell had about 130 yards rushing on the day. Jamar Chase had 2 touchdown catches on the day as well. And the Cowboys do fall to the Bengals thanks to a blocked punt on special teams. Story of our season. That is how the Cowboys are going to go out remembered for the 2024 year, by a blocked punt. Alright, that is going to do it for my NFL reactions. Let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, turn that bell on, as we do our best to post on this channel every single day. Coming up shortly, we will have bowl season predictions for you guys. We're going to predict every bowl game except for the college football playoff games. That video will be out tomorrow along with NFL reactions. We'll also have our EA Sports Dynasties back up and running on Thursday. And Friday, we'll talk about the NCAA transfer portal as well, since it has officially opened this week. Again, thank you all so much for watching this video. Like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.